Hello, Simon, Audrey. How are you? I'm Alejandro from TV Spain.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey,
Good.
nice to meet you.
First of all, I'm interested in knowing how would you describe the tone of the show, and how do you think that it subverts what we are used to seeing in the genre?
I think the tone of the show is muscular and fun and propulsive, like a lot of our favorite film noir or detective movies, but it subverts the classic film noir paradigm by adding a vulnerability, a fragility, dimensionalized characters you don't really see in the classic film noir genre, right? Like, they tend to be more hard-boiled, one-dimensional. They're either bad guys, good guys, femme fatales, damsels in distress, and so we took all of that, put it into the blender, and added a very modern sensibility and vibe and look on top of it. And so I would say the tone is both throwback and radically modern at the same time.
And for both of you, how challenging was it to create something as different as this and unique within the noir, while also being a love letter to all that came before? Because we can see in the show that Sugar has a lot of his behavior, has a lot to do with in the films that he has seen.
Well, I think it's a welcomed challenge. It's a balancing act of, like Simon was saying, there's so many different attributes of the show that have to come together harmoniously. And so you need each director kind of communicating the actors in sync with the vision that you're trying to achieve. You know, the music and everything has to support this distinctive vision. So although it's challenging, I think it's just an orchestration of a lot of elements and to make sure it's feeling singular.
And Sugar is a tribute to those Hollywood classics, but it also represents one of Hollywood's most disturbing problems, which is sexual harassment. So was it especially important for both of you to tackle that issue while developing a mystery within the industry?
I think it was important for us to show, in many ways, how Hollywood has evolved and devolved over generations. And so you start from Jonathan Siegel, where it's like the glamour and, in some ways, the majesty of classic Hollywood era, which we know had darkness and corruption and all the other things that just weren't spoken about, weren't fully excavated back then. And then you enter into his son, that starts to get into the more corrupt, more money-first side of Hollywood. And then his grandson, Davey, who's really now into addiction and darkness and, you know, sexual depravity. And so it was important for us to show, like, the full spectrum of Hollywood in terms of how it treats everyone, men and women, actors, crew member, everybody who's a part or even adjacent to this weird mechanism and universe of Hollywood we wanted to explore. And we had the opportunity to do that because it's a generational story.
Yeah, and to show that those two sides of the story, the light and the dark of Hollywood, you have a character which is really luminous, has a lot of light in this genre. So was it hard to find that light both in the show and in the main character?
Actually, I don't think it was actually hard. Actually, with Fernando, he has a lot of buoyancy in the way he directs, and he brings a certain kind of energy, and he almost directs like a jazz musician. So while you're playing with the darkness, you're also constantly playing with the lightness. And that was something you could feel him on set actively seeking. Nothing was ever one-dimensional. I think it went hand in hand for Fernando and the creative team.
Okay, thank you so much, both of you. Have a really nice day.
Thanks.
The show is great, so congrats for your work, and I hope that we can get to see each other next year.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.